Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer and welcome to Best Kept Plans. Today's video is going to be a budget with me for the paycheck that I will be receiving on January 4th, 2024 using the printable version of the Budget by Paycheck Workbook from the Budget Mom. If you're interested in seeing that, please stick around. As I said in my introduction, this is a budget with me for my January 4th, 2024 paycheck. Just as a quick note before we dive in, if you have not seen my flip through of my 2024 budget book, it has been posted here on YouTube. I will try to remember to link it up in the cards. I'm super excited and happy with how my budget book came together. So if you're curious about what I'm using this year, supplies that I use, things like that, you can watch that video and it gives a bunch of info. So opening this up, going to January and starting off in the January monthly spread, I'm going to zoom in a tiny bit more. So I have my January spread all put together here. I've put in my different bills, highlighted everything based on paycheck. I'm just realizing that I forgot to list the paychecks on the side here like I usually do, but I will definitely go back and do that. I did add a little bit of deco in with some washi tape and a sticker, which I think is really fun. I'm budgeting for this paycheck January 4th, and that's going to be used to pay for bills that we see listed in orange. So everything in orange is a bill for January 4th. Everything in pink is a bill for my January 18th paycheck. I do have some other colors here on Sunday. We have our purple and our green. The purple is for savings challenges. The green is specific to my 52-week challenge. So I'm doing two different challenges this year, a 2024 challenge and my 52-week challenge. And I decided to put everything on Sundays every month because that just seems to work best for me. So let's move to my paycheck budget tracker. I'm going to zoom on in so that we can take a look at this in more detail. Starting with the income or inflow section, I am listing my inflow as $3,100. That is my bi-weekly paycheck amount for my full-time job. I did get a raise in November 2023. It went into effect in December 2023, but I have been picking up some overtime here and there, and I have yet to receive a paycheck with just my base pay in it without overtime, and I want to receive that before I adjust this budgeted amount at all for the year moving forward. So budgeting our income to be $3,100. We have three bills that we're going to pay with this paycheck. That is Spotify. We're budgeting $15 for that. Audible, I'm budgeting $20 for that. It should be less than that, but the reason I have Audible currently is because I got a deal on it. I think it was a Black Friday deal and it gave me X amount of months at like $6 a month or $5 something a month. When that cheaper price is over, I will be canceling Audible because I don't use it all the time. And also Spotify now has audiobooks and you can get 15 hours of free listening every month, which is super awesome. So I foresee myself in the future using Spotify more when I'm in the mood for an audiobook versus Audible anyways. But I do want to continue to take advantage of that lower pricing. So once I hit a month where the price bumps up again, I will get rid of Audible. And I'm not sure if that's going to be January or if that's going to be February. So I'm budgeting 20. I know it's not going to be over 20. I'm anticipating it to be lower than that, but because I don't know what it'll bump up to once that promotion is over, I'd rather be safe than sorry by budgeting a little bit extra. And then I do have Kindle Unlimited. I got a really, really low pricing on that when I first joined. It's now up to its usual pricing. I love Kindle Unlimited though. I don't intend on getting rid of it. I do think it's worth the money for me, so budgeting that to be $15. If I add all three of these bills up together, they do equal $50. And if I subtract that from the $3,100 I'm budgeting my income to be, we're left with $3,050, which we're going to bring over to the variable expense section. This is where we budget for things that we know we're going to spend money on, but we don't have set amounts for. For me, I always have the same different categories with the same budgeted amounts. That's just what works for me and my budget. Yours might be different, but I always budget groceries at $200, eating out at $100, gas at $75, and miscellaneous at $175. I could have definitely probably gone down in a couple of these categories, like eating out and gas and probably miscellaneous, but I'm okay with them staying a little bit higher because every once in a while I do spend a little bit more out of these categories. And so I'm okay with budgeting for a little bit more, because if I don't use the money in eating out, gas, and miscellaneous, it just goes into my emergency fund envelope. And if I don't use the grocery money, it just goes into my house savings at the end of every pay period. So I'd rather budget a little bit more and then use that extra towards savings than not budget enough and go over. So I'm intending on keeping these the same for the foreseeable future, and those added together do equal $550. If I subtract that from the money we were left with after bills, we have $2,500, which we are going to bring up to the sinking fund section. Now, these are my 2024 sinking funds, but we have already started reaching goal on some of our sinking funds. I did have a couple of sinking funds that had money roll over from 2023 into 2024, and so that allowed me to get to goal on one of them and super close to goal on another, and that factored into the values that you're going to see listed here for this paycheck. I am putting into effect my sinking fund snowball. Before I had reached goal on any of my sinking funds, to contribute to each sinking fund added up to $600. Now that I have reached goal on some of my envelopes, I am still saving $600 every paycheck towards my sinking funds, but where that money is going is a little bit different, because for envelopes that have reached goal, that money is going to go into a different envelope. So as we go through, hopefully that'll make even more sense. We have my Black Friday envelope getting $15, Christmas is getting $25, subscriptions is getting $20, medical usually gets $20. But this envelope is now getting extra cash to reach its goal more quickly. It's getting cash from my RN, APRN licenses envelope that has reached goal. And then holidays also reached goal with what I rolled over from 2023. So it's getting the money that would have gone towards my holidays envelope. Plus it's getting its usual $20. So all of that added up to $75. Car insurance and taxes is getting $120. I had listed holiday here, not realizing that it had reached goal already, so it's not getting anything. Birthdays was only $5 away from goal, so it did get its $5 that it needed. Gifts is getting its usual $15. Giving is getting $50. Household is getting $20. If we flip this on the side here, we have home maintenance getting $100, baby getting $30, travel getting $100, and personal getting $25. So again, all of that added up together does equal $600. And if I subtract that from the $2,500 we were left with after bills and variable expenses, I have $1,900. That's quite a big amount, and that's because we only had a couple of bills and they were very small bills to pay with this paycheck. So it gives me a lot of extra cash to play with. And I decided to make the most of it and try to contribute to several different things. First of which is extra debt. So with this paycheck, I'm going to be putting $350 towards Sikorsky, which is my car loan, as well as $300 towards Nelnet, which is my student loans. Those two added together equal $650. And if I subtract that from the $1,900 we're left with after bills, variable expenses, and sinking funds, it leaves me with $1,250. Now, $250 of that is going to go towards my checking account cushion. I always have a $500 checking account cushion. It is $500 that just sits in my checking account as just in case money. During the month of December, I did deplete that down to about $250. So I am replenishing that. And then the other $1,000 is going to go towards my house savings. So those two added together equal $1,250, and that means we're left with $0, as we should be, because the Budget Mom's budgeting method is a zero-based budgeting method, meaning every dollar going in should be going out. Now let's flip over to the cash envelope breakdown. This sheet is pretty much the usual for me. I'm not really changing things up at all for 2024. We do have my variable expenses listed up here. Groceries is missing. I do have a separate checking account that is my variable expense checking account. The only cash that goes in there is $200 every pay period for my groceries because I buy my groceries online, so I have to pay for them online. Other than that, nothing else goes in or out of that checking account. But for eating out, I'm budgeting $100, but I know I'm going to take 80 out of it for a savings challenge, so that factored into my denominations here. Gas is getting its usual 75 with its usual denominations, and then miscellaneous is getting 175, but I'm pulling out 103 for a savings challenge, so again, my denominations match that. For all of my sinking funds, they're always going to get the largest denominations possible. And all of this added up together does equal $950. That's what I'm going to be withdrawing from my checking account on January 4th when I get paid. And that is what you're going to see me stuff in these envelopes when I do my first cash envelope stuffing of the year, which we'll be posting on Saturday. And that's going to be it for my budget with me. I am very excited about the new year. I'm very excited and motivated to really make budgeting a priority in 2024, to make saving and slashing down debt a priority in 2024. And having this paycheck where I only had a couple of bills and they were very low, that really, I feel like, is going to set me off on the right foot. It gave me a lot of extra money to play with that I was able, I think, to put towards everything that I want to put money towards, debt and savings, which is very, very exciting and makes me even more motivated for paychecks to come. If you have any questions or comments about the way that I budget, please don't hesitate to put a comment down below. And I did say in my flip through video, but I do have my Amazon favorites listed down in my description box. So if you're curious about the disc that I use, the paper that I use, it is listed in either my budgeting supplies section or my favorite paper section of my Amazon favorites. That is an affiliate link, so I do earn a commission if you click on that link, but it's no additional cost to you. And if you're curious about any of my budgeting tools that I have in my Etsy shop, like trackers or cash envelopes or savings challenges, that is also listed in the description box below. As always, everyone, please be safe. Bye-bye.